you time and time again.
Bitch, I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man. That's what Raheem's saying to himself, y'all. What's going on? This is your boy, Mad Mike, coming at you guys on the Mad Mike Morning Show. I bet y'all don't know that tune. Sitting next to me is the one and only Mr. White. What's going on, Mr. White?
Just call me the Homer Simpson truth teller.
Homer Simpson.
This some flat out selfish ass bullshit.
This is incredible, yo. This is incredible, y'all. This is absolutely incredible. Look. Let me play something. I want to play one more thing. Hold on. Let me play this again. Cause I like hearing this.
I told y'all. Bad Mike told you time and time again.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Hold on. I'm done. I don't think I'm done. Let me do it again.
I told y'all. Bad Mike told you time and time again.
Nope. I don't think I'm done. I don't think I'm done.
I told y'all. Bad Mike told you time and time again.
No, I don't think I'm done.
I told y'all. Bad Mike told you time and time again.
I'll go for a 5-peat.
I told y'all. Bad Mike told you time and time again.
All right, I think I got enough. So I was all right. Let me do this first. I want to do this first. Because I told you guys we do pay attention to a lot of your comments, so I want to highlight this one real quick. There were a couple of comments. I don't know what the fuck that is. Lachlan James. I hope I'm saying it right, man. Mike, did you see the fire and the wide receiver coach? And then we got question: who do you think we should hire if Raheem get fired? So obviously this is the big big story in football right now, and I want to say this first and foremost before I get into those and to the main topic. I want to, you know what you know what, Sam? I want to give you opportunities first. All right, so there's been a lot of talk by ESPN, and specifically that Dan Grazzi, what the fuck is Olofsky? He's been talking a lot of shit.
Mr. Run out the back of the end zone, Dan Orlovsky.
Yeah, him. He up here running his mouth because he can put on the same video that we all saw and saying, "See, I told you." Man, shut up. All right, ain't nobody taking your ass. You got the awareness of a goddamn elephant. Nah, you know that's an insult to elephants. You got the awareness of absolute shit, okay? Dog shit. That's what you got awareness of. And you got some nerd to be sitting up here pointing their fingers at the Atlanta Falcons after you've done what you've done. How can anybody take you seriously when you're constantly wrong? How can anybody take guys like Ryan Clark seriously when they've been constantly wrong and changing their tune on his black legend Lamar's Jackson? Okay, how can you guys come up? So my thoughts on Mr. Orlovsky talking about Zach Robinson and not getting to the real root of the problem. And the real root of the problem is, in my opinion, is that piece of absolute dog shit and Raheem. So how do you feel, Sam, about Orlovsky coming out, quote unquote, calling out the Atlanta Falcons?
Well, Dan Orlovsky need to find the parameters of what the end zone look like first. That's first. When we gather this particular situation, this is the whole shirk, then deflect, and then unaccountability. You have a whole passing game issue, and you fire a guy that has really nothing to do with coordinate or help coordinate the passing game, but you give the guy that is probably responsible for setting up the passing game the job of receivers coach. How does that work? I really don't understand. Just coming off the realm of Raheem Morris never had this job to begin with. Y'all know how I feel and what my stance on him as the coach of this team and the parameters of him keeping or not keeping his job. Well, he is one loss away from my prediction and pink slip timing. Because everything that I said that would happen, that would be, present a situation to award him that pink slip, it has happened. Okay. I challenge anyone to define what Raheem Morris means and be able to come up with a factual answer. I challenge anyone while you're out here pulling race cards and we want to give the black man a chance. And this same black man fired another black man for quote unquote not doing his job, which is the same black man that had 3 receivers last year that almost had a total of 1,000 yards each. But he gets hit over the head with a pink slip, and somehow TJ Yates gets to keep his job. I'm not understanding that. I'm just not. But that's usually the calling card sign. When you see the writing on the wall, your neck is approaching the chopping block. I'm just saying. You get into the preseason, you get into mini camp, training camp, and the team in itself is not gravitating to your mentality. They're gravitating to that guy called Jeff Albrecht. And it was obvious you was in your feelings about it. You was.
Mm-hmm.
You was in your feelings about it. Because ain't nobody in the locker room listening to you. Ain't nobody in the locker room taking you serious. This is in all actuality, this is Jeff Albrecht's team. Albrecht, I'm sorry.
We know.
This is Albrecht's team. Okay. And when we're asking the question about what coach, well, he's already here. Actually, there's 2 people on this staff, Brick and Gray. These are the guys that the players on this team gravitate to. You know, and you're over here making Zach Robinson's life unnecessarily hard. You won't stay your ass the fuck out the way. I said it on Monday. You go back and you look at week 1, you look at week 2. There were, offensive adjustments made in both those games. You know what I'm saying? And here we are, week 3, and it had Homer Simpson DNA all over this game. He can't stand to see anybody else getting credit for their job being done. That is just the bona fide fact. And if you can't see that, you blinder than Ray Charles and he dead.
So I looked at. I'm sure everybody's seen what Chad Ochocinco, aka Mr. Chad Johnson, and Shannon Sharp had to say about this subject.
They told no lies.
And both those guys are receivers. So for me personally, I do like to take receivers' word for it in regards to certain things. Like when you hear quarterbacks talking about route running and all shit, I don't take that seriously because you're coming from you're coming from a quarterback standpoint of what you want your receivers to do instead of understanding the position in itself. So when I hear these receivers saying, all right, the passing game and the play calls and the game plan is the issue, and then you fired the wide receiver coach, and both of those guys said they don't understand it. Furthermore, I get a message from a close personal friend of ours that just so happened to be a coach in his own right, that he can't understand what the hell is going on in regards to this situation with him. I hear you getting fired. So we got 3 receivers coming up and saying to themselves, what the fuck is going on? Like, why are you firing the receivers coach? What the hell he got to do with it? All 3 of these guys are saying the same thing. But we got this punk bitch of a Dan Orlovsky coming out of his mouth. And we got that swagoo, fat-oo. That's what I like to call him, fat ass, fat-oo. Because he up here talking about the Falcons run dip, like the running back dip is too much. You stupid motherfucker. Everybody run it. It's the same pistol that everybody in the league run, but somehow it's a fucking Falcon problem. The same goddamn team that won the Super Bowl run the same fucking pistol, but somehow the depth for the Atlanta Falcons is a problem. The same guy that rushed for the 3rd most yards in the NFL and Bijan Robinson, somehow this year it's a problem. See, this is why people don't take y'all seriously at ESPN, because y'all say contradictory bullshit all the time. Who the fuck says that the running back is too deep in a fucking pistol, you dumbass? That don't make no sense.
Swagoo just out here niggering.
Like that don't make no sense. It's called a pistol formation. The pistol formation for the running back depth, it changes because it's a pistol formation. It's essentially a shotgun. It's essentially a shotgun and an I formation all in once. A strong guy, weak guy, and it can be, what they used to call and used to run a lot of pro sets. So the pistol formation has a lot of variables in it. So it's not just as simple as these stupid ass people out here that's saying the pistol formation has a lot of variables. The thing is with the Atlanta Falcons is they're not pushing the ball down field. So when we talk about Michael Penix and the Atlanta Falcons offense in its entirety, there's so many more issues than just the wide receivers. And this is one of the main reasons why we can't understand why the wide receivers coach, for the reasons Sam just talked about earlier, why he got fired. Like, bro, you telling me what's wrong? You're trying to tell me right now, as the Atlanta Falcons, is that the wide receiver routes are wrong. Okay, let's play your game. The wide receiver routes are wrong. Let's play your game that the wide receivers don't know the game plan. Let's play that game. So when you put together the game plan, when everybody's sitting in the same damn office and room together, as you so eloquently stated, that all the coaches don't move, they do not move until we come to a conclusion. So when it all come down to it, why the fuck did you approve it if the fucking wide receiver routes are wrong? Why didn't you do anything in the first two games during the game? Fuck all this nonsense out like in the meetings. Look, when you get on that field, why aren't you making the necessary moves? Why aren't you calling those slants? Why are you simplifying things? Why aren't you throwing the ball in the middle of the field? Why aren't you throwing screens? Why are you running the ball? Why are you doing all these things? But you're trying to sell us, the fans and the people, that the wide receiver coach is the problem. That makes no sense whatsoever. Makes absolutely no sense. I don't think Ike got fired because to be scapegoated. I believe Ike voiced his opinion and it probably got heated and Ike refused and he released because of it.
And you
I mean, that's
right.
that's still a form of scapegoating.
And yeah, you're probably right in that perception. But you know, at the same time, what that's not being a leader if you're not willing to take constructive criticism from your staff. That's not being a good leader if you're not willing to make adjustments that's being suggested by your staff. That's not taking ownership of your bullshit if you cannot handle constructive factual criticism from your staff. That's just the bottom line. And if you can't do that, you should not have this job.
Nah. Michael Penix standing in a pistol formation. It's the most ridiculous, stupid shit I've ever heard in my life. This makes no sense. Okay, this makes absolutely no sense. None. Because whether he's standing under the pistol, under center, in the pistol, in the shotgun, it's still going to be five. It's going to be 3 to 5 yards away from the line, regardless. So, does it really matter if he's standing in the gun or the pistol? Absolutely not. It's the dumbest shit when it comes down. It's about executing, calling the right plays at the right time. It's as simple as that. But when you got guys like Zach Robinson and right now Raheem Morris, they simply don't want anybody to combat them because they're hell bent on running the offense the way that they run. And this is why I get so frustrated when people say, well, guess what? We need to fire Zach Robinson. Why we need to fire? The question that I have, Sam, is, do you personally believe, for one, it's simple, it's just saying, all right, Zach Robinson the problem? Because it's my belief that if you the head coach and the head guy, you gotta voice your concerns if he sends like for example, this is kind of how we do things. Sam may have an idea for a show. He come to me, hey Mike, this is what I'm thinking. What do you think about this? Me, Kev, Juan, all right, we give our concerns, we give our our takes on how it could be a good show, how it could be better. This is what we're gonna add to it. This is what we're not gonna do. These types of things. And I say, all right, I take everybody's point in consideration. Say, all right, we draw up all of these concerns, all of these takes, and put it into one pot and say, all right, this is what we think. What do y'all think we should do? But it's me and it's us as a board to say, all right, this is it. So my thing is, why did you approve it? Time and time again. Why did you improve it? Why are you allowing? What do you believe that he's allowing Zach Robinson to run the offense the way it is?
Okay. First of all, both these two gentlemen, because I was looking at Zach Robinson through a different set of lenses, and I was doing myself a disservice. Okay. Zach Robinson needs to understand this is not the Rams and this is not Matthew Stafford. This is a young quarterback, a 6th game in his professional year quarterback, and this is another one of them situations of this homeboyism. That's just what it boiled down to with me, because I was of the mindset Ryan, let Zach Robinson do his thing. Then I started rethinking my thing and started looking at other stuff outside the box. Right, they were in Los Angeles together. This is very much essentially is another case of a yes man being followed by another yes man. That's what this is. Allowing or co-signing or telling him to do whatever the case may be. That's what's going on, because they were both in Los Angeles together. And you're trying to run this, play this offense as if you got Matthew Stafford, and that can't work. You got a young, impressionable quarterback trying to grow, and you're gonna stunt his growth with this semblance of bullshit that's going on in this offense. Because like I said yesterday, what we got Sunday from Michael Penix was a verified, bona fide rookie moment. Penix looked like exactly what he is, a rookie. And the only thing that Robinson and Homer Simpson did that actually made sense was take that boy out of the game. There was no need for no more punishment for him to make another bad throw. How many times he throw the ball, Mike? What, 27, 31, something like that?
It's like 36, 38 times.
He threw the ball over 30 times, and I only saw 3 good throws out of him in that game. 3. He threw 2 god awful interceptions, and he was getting hit damn near every play. I don't understand why would you continuously put him in a situation like that 30 some odd plus times instead of running the ball? I mean, right now at this point, at this jump, because I when I woke up from my nap on yesterday, I just come to the fruition. Both of these guys need to go. They're not good for Michael Penix. Raheem and Robinson are not good for Michael Penix. They need to go. What is the solution? You move Brick to head coach and you bring in Jesse Palmer.
So there's nothing about Raheem that's just a good coach. He's an absolute line sacker, absolute shit. He's a manipulating, read by the books, repeat what everybody else says. He has no ability to coach any position. He just reads a bunch of stuff that everybody else say and repeats it. How do I know this to be the case? Because he still hasn't done anything well himself. Not a goddamn thing. There's been nobody that said, yep, Raheem developed this guy. Hey, Christian. Nobody. Not a single motherfucking player. You got a bunch of people that said, yeah, man, I like Raheem. He's really smart. He's a real tough guy, and he will really get in your behind. Again, fuck all that. Tell me what has this guy done? Who has he developed? Who has he developed, Sam? Tell me.
No one. No one. Look, one of his former players, who's a flat out indictment on him, who you call Miss Thing number one, Jalen Ramsey, told it. When they was in Los Angeles, there was no game plan. We did whatever we wanted to do back there.
You mean he gave them the freedom to do whatever they wanted to do?
Yes. That ain't coaching. I mean, you know what I'm saying? He may have been involved in drafting that young guy, on the line with Aaron Donald, the one that's still there now. I mean, but as far as development, that young man became a player in his own right by his damn self. Okay, there is no one that has came out of development under Raheem Morris over the. You cannot find one player, defensive back, receiver, special teamer, nowhere that has been developed by this guy, made it to a star by this guy in a scheme under this guy. When you call Raheem Morris' name, there is not one scheme that you could think of that defines him.
Nothing.
Like when you call Bill Walsh's name, you think West Coast.
Yes.
When you Mike Shanahan, Kyle Shanahan, you think West Coast. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Don Shula, you think spread. All right.
You know what them Bryans, they gonna play that bear and they're gonna play that 3-4. You know that's what they're gonna play.
You called Raheem Morris's name, and if you ain't drawing the blank, you lying.
He's a line sack of shit, and I say that with all disrespect.
Rich McKay and that goddamn board that talked Arthur off that boat and out of Bill Belichick, all the motherfuckers need to be hung on the tree somewhere.
And the crazy part about it, our point with hiring Bill Belichick had everything to do with trusting his ability to understand what coaching is and who are and putting together a contingency plan. A contingency plan where it's like, all right, this guy's going to be the next coach in waiting. That's what you're bringing in Bill Belichick. We know he's 70-something years old. But what's the fucking excuse for that for the guy and got Pete Carroll? What the fuck? Everybody love Pete Carroll. Ain't nobody point at him and say he old.
Right.
But we got these dumbass, we got all these stupid ass people. And like I said, I mean this with all disrespect. Anybody that said, "Oh, Bill Belichick is too old and all that dumb," look, you's a stupid motherfucker because this is about his. You can't tell me that this guy don't know how to build a defense. You can't tell me that. He was the one that hired Dean Pease, the guy that came in here and set the foundation for this team. We got players right now on this squad because of him and Bill Belichick. So you go to fucking hell with this Bill Belichick disrespect and disregard. Is he a fucking cheater? Yes. But does this guy, is he responsible right along with Bill Parcells for creating the greatest defensive player of all fucking time and Lawrence Taylor? Fuck
Absolutely.
Yeah, he is.
Absolutely. And
So
even if you don't go that route with Bill Belichick, you had Wink Martindale in your office. Wink Martindale shouldn't be in Michigan. He should be here. Okay, you had championship pedigree coaches in your grasp, and instead you bring this yes man motherfucker that brought this goddamn crab apple selfish ass son of a bitch saltine ass motherfucker of a quarterback him that shitted out a whole fucking season. I mean, some of you motherfuckers got the audacity. You shouldn't try to keep him down. That's race. Stop being a racist and quit criticizing the black. Fuck you and the tree you rode in on. This is what kills me about this fucking fan base. You want everything black, black. This is black power. Well, look what that black shit done got you. Look what it done got you. Look at it. Look at it. No, don't turn your hand away. Look at that shit. Smell that shit. You treat your ass like a goddamn bad puppy. Rub your nose in that bullshit. Look at it, read it, smell it. Taste it. Yeah, it don't taste good, do it. It don't feel good, do it. But this is what y'all wanted. This is what y'all wanted. It makes no damn sense. This selfish son of a bitch. Both him and Robinson at this point. Look, I told y'all. Before season started, I told y'all. Now you're one loss away from what I said. You're one fucking loss away. And do I feel good about being right about this shit? No, because I want us to fucking succeed. I wanted to be wrong. Trust me when I tell you I wanted to be wrong. But here it is. Here we are. We got all these fucking tools. We got all the right ingredients in here. And this goddamn crab apple, goddamn skinning and grinning ass motherfucker is fucking it up.
Right in for our eyes. For guys that he brought in on their rookie. He brought in Jimmy Lake as a rookie. He brought in DJ Williams. Again, none against his lineage, but he ain't goddamn dug. A guy, a first year in the NFL and learning how to actually help build a quarterback. Young guy. He got no fucking experience on his roster as far as this offense is concerned. And the one guy that had fucking experience, you got him the fuck up out of here. The one guy that guy had goddamn experience in the NFL, you said, get the fucking stepping. And Ike Hilliard, and you pointed the finger at him. Zach Robinson is in his second year as a play caller. We hired a guy that had he had no experience as a play caller. Zero. You had Jimmy Lake that come in, had 0 years of experience at calling plays. And you want to point the finger at these guys instead of looking at this blackish nigga firing ass head coach that we got right here, the same thing that y'all said we was. Coon. But guess what he do? He hired a white boy to be the wide receiver coach. Yeah, but we coons now. We coons. He got rid of the nigga, hired the white boy. and say, guess what? You're our wide receiver coach. How did that make sense? Make it make sense, people.
Black Mario, don't bring Terry into this because he's the one person on this staff that has done his damn job.
What the fuck is Terry got to do? Who the fuck told you stupid motherfuckers that Terry Fontenot hired? Who the fuck told you that a general manager is supposed to hire a head coach? Who told y'all that? Where y'all get that from? Who told you that a general manager hires guys? Tell me. I want to know. Everybody, well, Terry hired Raheem. Who told you that?
No, the hell he didn't. No, the hell he didn't. Rich McKay and his damn board brought that goddamn burn up goddamn Oreo cookie yes man in him. That's who did. They talked Arthur out of keeping Bill out of him because they would have had no fucking say so.
None.
And they brought this Steppins ass goddamn Sammy Davis Jr. ass motherfucker in him, tap dancing and smiling. A motherfucker that they could control. They wouldn't have had no say so over Bill. None. It would have been Bill and Terry in him, arguably two of the best scouts walking around here in the NFL. They didn't want that. They wanted that. Yes, they want that boy in him. They want that field nigga in him. You know, in your feelings, and we all over his head for his stupid shit. Okay, all right. But you want change. You wanted to go in a different direction. You wanted to go in a winning direction. But you didn't want the guy that was responsible for a fucking dynasty in him. Make it make sense.
My thing on top of this, are some general managers' job supposed to be hiring head coaches? Yes, there are. But you ask yourself this in regards to general manager. Why would Terry Fontenot hire a guy that he doesn't even fucking know?
Facts.
He ain't have no history with Raheem, but you're trying to convince everybody in the universe that Terry Fontenot hired this guy. Like at some point, you just got to ask your questions. Ask yourself questions. Ask the questions. Don't just take it for just face value. That's the fucking problem. We get to the blame game and nobody asks questions. Nobody likes questions because they want to believe that this is the bad guy, this is the bad guy, and this guy is overrated and this guy sucks. But you're not asking yourself, all right, so why Michael Penix ain't playing well? All right, so why Zach Robinson has the freedom to sit up here and call all these bullshit ass plays? Because they are bullshit, without question. But why is Raheem allowing this dude to quote unquote run these stupid ass plays when you see that the quarterback is struggling? Why is he just sitting there and why is he just sitting there with a stupid look on his face instead of doing something and heading over to your quarterback and say, hey, I need you to do this? Because I saw one guy, this dude literally got physical with his player. Andy Reid, he literally got physical with your boy Travis Kelce. He literally got physical with his player. Say, this is what the fuck we doing, and this is what you gonna do. Travis gave him some back talk, but guess what? After Andy Reid did that, he started straightening his ass up, and the offense got on track.
Michael Penix Jr., he's a 6-game rookie. not a 6-year vet. That's something else that people are overlooking. Does he have all the tools? Yes. But having all the tools can be thoroughly misused and wasted when you don't have the right set of training and coaching around that player. And that's what we have right now.
Mm-hmm. So here's a question for Trevor Jones. You said, what happens if they sing 6 straight wins together? Well, he ain't gonna have no choice. I don't give a flying fuck. I still think he's a fucking moron. I don't give a shit what he does. I want to win, but at the end of the day, I will not sit up here and try to pretend as if this dude still ain't 30 and 50. Okay? He don't lost more games than he don't won. But you want me to believe that he's just some great player. Not saying this is you, but there's a lot of people out here that want to look. If you came to me and say, "Hey, bro, I got a house in Brazil I want to sell you, but I ain't never seen the fucking house," I'm a stupid motherfucker for giving you the money. For giving you the money, because that's what Arthur did. He gave him the money. Even though Raheem sold that motherfucker house and ran off with it. He had no proof that he was able to build anything. He sold him a damn dream. Arthur is a dumb ass for listening to this moron. Taking with, and like I said, maybe we do know he did come out and say that the board agreed. I wanted to do this, and the board agreed that we would hire Raheem Morris. So we do know that for sure. But at the end of the day, whether it's Mr. Blank or the board in general, he sold them a false hope and false quote unquote reality. And these are the things to get. So I don't give a damn if I don't care if we win 6 straight. Because at the end of the day, we won 6 games. We were 6-3 last year. I don't care nothing about that. I care about consistency. I don't care about no 6 games. Look, stupid is as stupid does. I know we done heard that shit a million times. But stupid is what stupid does, and this is the second year in a row that this dude done did some dumb shit. But we trying to pretend as if it could get better. Okay, you keep telling yourself that.
Keith Hicks, I would agree with that if this was a decade ago, back when we were playing 4 preseason games with the extended training camp, but this ain't that.
Training camp wasn't that long back then too, so that's another thing that y'all don't get. Like everybody's saying, "Well, the training camp was well." They only had training camp back in the 80s and 70s and 80s. They only had training camp. They didn't have mini camp, Ricky camp, and all veteran, all that bullshit. They didn't have none of that. OTA, they didn't have none of that. It was just training camp. If you didn't get it then at training camp, you were never gonna get it. You weren't gonna make the team. So this is one of the reasons why, like, there's no real need for preseason and playing in the preseason, because you got OTAs and all that type of stuff. You to be in the classroom, learn the playbook, all that. Like, this is what rookie camp and all this stuff is, to bring in the guys so they can learn to play, learn the offense, learn their position, learn what they want. Like, this is why you got mini camp and all these types of stuff. So it's so much more than just training camp.
The NFL has basically stripped away a lot of the foundation, you know what I'm saying, that was making teams make themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're placing everything up under a microwave setting, You know, the injuries got higher. If y'all ain't been paying attention since they took away, you know what I'm saying, a game in preseason and tried to, I guess, they've added all this other stuff, OTAs, mini count, you know what I'm saying, voluntary and non-voluntary, all that shit. Injuries have gone up. But that ain't nobody talking about that.
Come on, Black Mario. This not true at all. It's not true. Of course you heard it. It's not true at all. There's literally a guy in Dallas right now that just does what the fuck he wants to do.
Right. You're right.
Like Ozzie Newsome Ozzie Newsome left Baltimore because he didn't agree with the direction that they wanted to go. So he stepped back and retired.
Yep.
General managers have different titles. Those are different titles, but at the end of the day, the guy who owns the team has the ultimate say over all of it. Of course you've heard it. Like, come on, bro. Like, what are we talking about? Green Bay literally has a system in place where it's a group. We see Pittsburgh, they have a standard of what they're gonna do and then what they're gonna be. Of course. The general manager doesn't hire that. Like, look, he signs the contract. Okay, let me just pull it up. He signs the contract, he comes up with the numbers, so he finalizes all those deals. But hiring the guys, like, come on, man.
Look, understand something. Jerry Jones killed a precedent that was put in place by one Tom Landry. Okay, you know what I'm saying? He came in and you brought in was the best and the worst of what, you know what I'm saying, the Cowboys were about. And you brought Jimmy Johnson in from the University of Miami, and he did what he did. And you wanted to take all kinds of credit for that, and came out of your mouth in front of a microphone and said anybody could coach this team. And you have had what, 7, 8, 9 coaches since Jimmy Johnson. So now, when you have a set standard of precedents in place, and you don't have the right, protocol to guide it, to steer it, to lead it, you get what you have gotten since 1995 with the Dallas Cowboys.
Yep.
Okay, we had a chance to ultimately rewrite the ship, and we let 2 of these possibilities get out the fucking door because of goddamn old heads sitting on a fucking board and scared that they were going to end up being obsolete, in which they were.
Yep.
In which they were. But instead of staying in your lane, staying in your fucking place, and bringing a Bill or Wink Martindale in him to right the ship and build something, you prefer to have your yes man.
People that's going to listen to what you want them. That's what it comes down to. Instead of guys that's going to help and make the team better, you're so worried about the scheme that you want to put in place and not perfecting the scheme. You're willing to sacrifice a guy's play and sacrifice the team's play because this is what you want to run. I want to run these plays. I want to check the ball down. I want to throw the ball underneath. These are the things that you want to do. You want these guys to play how you want them to play and the scheme that you want to run. Because if this was about Michael Penix and his abilities, if this was they're going to do and they're going to put plays that fits Michael Penix skills, then why the fuck are we not throwing the ball downfield? We seen what this dude can do with his arm. And we have yet to see Ray McLeod. We've yet to see Donnell Mooney. Any of these wide receivers catch the ball 30, 40 yards down the field. We've yet to see that. We've yet to see these guys even attempt it. But you're trying to convince me that these two guys and Raheem and Zach are doing what's best for Michael Penix. And that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to go in detail tonight or this evening on 6MK. All right. But this is insane insanity when you got NFL players looking at you like, bro, all right, why aren't you? So all of a sudden, Michael Penix last year, he looked well. He looked good throwing the ball downfield. And then this year, he's doing none of that. And you're trying to convince me, you're trying to convince us as football fans. I'm talking about everybody, football fans of the game, analysts, media personnel, all these type. You got guys like I said, you got all of these guys. They're coming out like something ain't right. Like, why we're not pushing the ball downfield? Why are you not? One of the video, you got a viral video going from NFL at ESPN, and one of the first thing that I forget the lady name, forgive me, but she came out and she said, well, why they're not even thrown in the middle of the field? Last year they did it. He threw 2 touchdowns to Drake London and Kyle Pitts in the middle of the field. Touchdown. And now we're not doing that. And we got morons up here. You literally have morons up here telling me that, well, Michael Penix ain't it. I think we need to put Kirk Cousins in. For what? Kirk Cousins gonna magically throw the ball downfield with his half dead arm? All right, make that make sense.
Yeah. God awful is not even just the absolute the description of what dysfunctional is not even the absolute description of what is entirely going on right now. This is the Hindenburg on fire, and both these motherfuckers are pouring rocket fuel on it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, look, it's a bad situation, and I feel bad for Michael Penix the most right now. I mean, because if we don't get these two individuals away from this young man, it could destroy his
confidence
and career.
And excuse Sam grandbaby just having a bad morning, y'all. So don't worry about it. But I'll say this. I think Mike will be fine. And one thing that I do know, I know a lot of people saying it's like, all right, if we fire Raheem, who was the guy? I don't know. I really I think it's too early to be talking about who, because I mean there's been some talk that Mike McDaniel may be the yeah, that baby just as mad as us. I'll be crying like him too if if I was forced to see what this mess. But man, this is you can't convince me that they doing what's best for Michael Penix, Kyle Pitts, Drake London, and Bijan Robinson. Like, you can't tell me that because they're doing nothing.
And you got an exacerbated situation right now because the locker room is not, they're not listening to him. This locker room here is lost. This locker room is lost. And if they don't do something, look, Albright is the tip of the lighter right now. Albright is the tip of the lighter right now, and they need to give it to him. You know what I'm saying, to light a spark and get us pointed back in the right direction. As far as the offensive situation goes, you know, it's gonna take an act of God at this particular point. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna take an act of God. I mean, because you got a yes man following another yes man in Zach Robinson and Raheem, and it ain't working. It ain't helping. It ain't. You know, like I said, my thoughts on the solution. All brick to the head coach, and we throw a check at Jesse Palmer, who I think would be the best, you know what I'm saying, solution quarterback wise for Michael Penix, and we keep it moving.
They need a guy in here that understands the quarterback position and the new age of quarterback position, because standing in the pocket and just not doing anything just ain't working. And it's not like Michael Penix can't move. That's the most frustrating part. Like, you can design 4 to 5 running plays for him to get first downs, and that's literally it. To just get first downs. If it's open, run. Don't just stand in the pocket. Move around. That's how we won a game, because he moved around. Like, what? Like, you're trying to. I feel as though that they're trying to recreate Matt Stafford and Matt Ryan. I really get that feeling, because he's hanging his hat on. Oh, well, I was one of the pass game coordinators and wide receivers coach with them when we went to the Super Bowl. So what? But you did nothing to develop a single player. No player has stated that Raheem Morris is the reason why I'm a Pro Bowler. Nobody. They say Raheem is a really smart guy. I really like him. Everybody's saying they like him. I mean, you see Chip Kelly is getting back, because this is where the NFL is going. If you don't have a quarterback that could just utilize his legs, he doesn't have to run 10 times a game, but have 4 to maybe 8 plays a game where the quarterback utilizes his leg, it completely changed the dynamic of how a defensive coordinator comes at
you. I don't think him standing in the pocket is necessarily the problem. I just think the plays that they're diagramming and dialing up and calling are not conducive in the situation that they're calling. You know what I'm saying?
It's the motion. It's him standing in the same spot. So it is standing in the pocket. You have to move your quarterback around in the NFL. That's the whole thing about the West Coast system that they're trying to run. The West Coast system is predicated on movement and action. So if your quarterback is constantly standing in one single place, like, no, you're basically saying, all right, my quarterback will always be right here. Well, if you know my quarterback will always be right here, it becomes easy. You get to design a play that's going to attack the middle of the field and box everybody in. So it is a major problem. It's not so much running, but using his legs to change the dynamic of how the defense attacks him. That's the problem. Because another thing, when the last time we seen a end around in his offense?
About 4 years ago.
You're not adding anything. No motion. It's all about motion. Motion is the new NFL. You gotta have motion. You gotta be able to threat. This is why you see with Baltimore, you see they use little flowers. on the end rounds. They use him on the drag routes because the motion is what gets those linebackers to step out of their gap and step away from their assignment. That's what made the Atlanta Falcons offense in 16 so great. Is because you couldn't key on Matt Ryan to just stand in the pocket. Kyle Shanahan had him bootlegging, moving around, moving his feet. So it's the motion there's no motion on this. We know where everybody gonna be on every single play. That's the problem.
I don't think that guy in Alabama would be good for this situation coming out of that hell pit.
If he get fired, you talking about the head coach there that came from Washington?
You talking about a guy that shouldn't have had that job to begin with, following Nick Saban, and all of the hell that he's catching right now down there. I just his mental state would probably be fragile than toilet paper at this point. But I mean,
you can bring him in as a like a receiver coach or something like that, just to kind of get some ideas. But like actually being the offensive coordinator and all that, that's way too soon for that. You bring guys in like that to be pass game coordinators because he knows Mike and he knows what he's good at. So you bring those guys in to be coordinators to help create plays for specific players.
Jesse Palmer, Josh McDaniels, some vetted experience. Some guys that know the position, done played the position, done designed the position, done call plays at the position. You know what I mean? None of this new fancy shit. Whatever Zach Robinson did in Los Angeles, it ain't working here. I mean, it ain't translating here. Wherever he was and whatever he was with the Rams, on the offensive staff, it ain't working here. You know what I'm saying? So that's where the change is gonna have to lie. Because what we haven't, I have no, I think the defense is going definitely in the right direction. But offensively is where the problem lies. Again, we're throwing a lot at the kid, and what I'm saying, in this situation where shit is imploding around him in only his 6th game of his professional career, not 6th year. And we got to get something in place that's going to right the ship for him before his confidence gets stomped. And he'll be, he'll be crushed.
Creativity is a word for don't know what the fuck you doing. Play call is not difficult, y'all. Okay, it's not difficult. It really ain't difficult. This has nothing to do. Sometimes it's come down to common sense. Run the ball and get the ball to your best players.
Facts.
I hear creativity.
That's what my frustration came in. And we come out in the second half where the game is really probably still in reach. All we had to do was establish a run. Why do we come out throwing the fucking ball? Why? Why would you exasperate the situation?
Yeah. I don't think creativity it's one of those terms. That's an overused Kang response to when things aren't working. This ain't got nothing to do with no creativity. Because we don't seen the pistol before. We've seen the shotgun. We've seen the shotgun in 1920, 1930s with Sammy Barr and all those guys. Like, ain't nothing. It ain't all these creativity talk. Football has been used. We've seen the rugby style of football come back with this tush push. That's rugby. This was happening in the 1920s. So all this old creativity, ain't nothing creative about what the Philadelphia Eagles do. Ain't nothing creative about what Lamar Jackson doing. Ain't nothing creative about that. Nothing creative. It ain't nothing creative about that. It just comes down to learn how to use common sense. Use what freaking works. If it works, keep throwing it. That's it. Like, let's just keep it real. That's a care response. Oh my, like you got, look, I got that. Look, I got that picture. I got that picture in my folder, and I keeps that, sir. It's not like I said, it's not that difficult. It really isn't. And that's the problem that we're giving these. We're like we act like football is just so hard to understand. Look, if I know they can't stop Bear Sanders, why am I gonna stop giving them the ball? That's just crazy. That don't make sense. If I know that they can't stop me driving, why I'm gonna stop driving to the holes? It's not that difficult. If I know they can't stop Bijan and it's outside zone scheme, why would I stop it? If I know that right now the best player that's playing the best out of our receiving core and tight end core is Kyle Pitts, why am I not giving him the ball? These are common sense things. Right. It's not creativity. That's common sense.
The two things that are working right now, we ain't doing it. That's Kyle Pitts and Bijan Robinson. Why not run? Why not run the ball? Why not run it? Bijan is the one thing that nobody can stop.
Mm-hmm.
And it's short down the distance in the passing game. Kyle Pitts is the one thing that nobody can stop. He can fall and get 5 yards. Come on, man. It's not rocket science. It's not rocket science. You do what works. You do what nobody can stop. Right now, nobody can stop our run game. Why not use it?
I don't believe this organization is doomed to fail. I don't believe that at all. It's just things. So the organization, we've won. We know how to win. But sometimes you get in the way. Coaches get in the way. The organization knows exactly how to put together a winning formula. But the thing is the players and the coaches that get in the way with their egos. But what the organization has to do is say, all right, we're not going to wait 4 games to finally get this right. We're going to step up. We're going to do this right now. So it's I don't believe that at all. I don't believe in we're destined to fail, because nobody's destined to fail unless you want to. You're the maker of your own world. Well, you gonna sit in that room and study your ass off until you pass this test, or you gonna give up? Period, point blank. If you want to learn, you're gonna take everybody who's passed that test, you're gonna take everybody's advice and not just say, well, I don't really need y'all advice. I'm gonna pass this test how I want to pass the test. Well, you'll never pass the test with that attitude. Well, I'm just gonna fire everybody that try to give me some ideas. Huh?
That part right there, Dirty Bird. That part right there. Mm-hmm.
That part right there. Said enough was enough, ran the ball the entire half. He earned just a little. But like, it's not that difficult. He ran the ball like 15 times because they couldn't stop it. I think it was like 16, 17 times he ran the ball in a row, and they just could not stop it. Yep. That's not creativity. That's common sense. Look at Pittsburgh. Look at the Philadelphia Eagles. You think it's a secret what they're gonna do? They're gonna either run the ball with Jalen Hurts or they're gonna run the ball with Saquon, the other backup running back. It's not rocket science. That's not creative.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to Jew. Shout out to Jew. Great video on yesterday, Jew. Great. Y'all man. That man over there doing great work, man.
Mm-hmm. For sure. But it's like I said, this has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with Destiny Field. People just gotta. At the end of the day, man, you cannot, as an organization, wait 2, 3, 4, 5 games to correct something.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem. The Falcons, the organization, they're too nice at times when they need to be firm. They're too nice. They take too long to make the necessary adjustments, and when you make the adjustments, oftentimes it's too late. You got to nip that shit in the bud right there when you see signs of it. Like, whoa, hold on. Mike don't look like he's in the rhythm. We need to scrap the game plan and say, all right, let's get Mike into a rhythm first. Those are not that, like I said, like those are not. These are all things that coaches can do. We saw it with Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn refused to stop running that cover 3. And then when he got the Dallas, he was like, well, yeah, I'm gonna run the cover 3, but I'm gonna blitz a little bit more. And then he realized, well, damn, that did work. But he went right back to his habit of playing that cover 3. Mm-hmm. He's trying to force it down. So it just come down to common sense all the time. It come down to common sense. So we're gonna kind of put it. We're gonna go give our last takes, Sam, and we're going to extend this conversation 6 o'clock in the morning. No, 6 o'clock. We're going live at 6 o'clock. That's an Eminem reference, y'all. But we're gonna go at 6 o'clock. And extend this conversation, but head over to not only 6-Man K Styles and subscribe. Head over to Mr. White Sports Network. Right. He's on the quest to 500, and like I said, man, Jew Talk. He's been dropping some Jews, and I definitely recommend that you head over there and subscribe. Like I said, Mr. White Sports Network. Go ahead and give people your last takes on the matter.
Yes. I hate that the defensive effort is not being taken advantage of. But something has to happen. Something has to change. The guys in that locker room, they got to take it upon themselves and make it happen, and not let this season go down the drain for a second year in a row because of coaching. That's just where it is. Look, you got 6-man coming up to 6, and I'm gonna do a little something at 5 o'clock. Along the lines of this conversation, and Ike Hilliard's firing. As well, and I might take another kill shot at that guy up there in Baltimore. Y'all tune in.
You make it to the Super Bowl twice. There's no such thing as death in the field. Okay, there's no such thing as that. And like I said, it's just everybody get tired of not winning the Super Bowl, and that's all that matters. But we're not destined to fail. We just gotta nip stuff in the bud and make the necessary change, man, when we need to, and stop being egotistical.
Say it with your chest, Jerome. Say it with your chest. Say it with your chest, Jerome. They don't know. They don't know.
That Rankin Smith shit, whoo boy. And I was just a youngster when they was at, boy, look, sheesh. Yeah, we don't need them problems. But that right there,
coaches were getting fired for being doing stuff right and getting on the line of being successful.
Mm-hmm.
Neiman Bennett and Dan Campbell got fired for doing good things.
For doing good things. Yeah. For that.
Yes.
For actually doing good things and doing good deeds. So that's all we got to tell you about that, man. Like I said, head over to Mr. White Sports Network, 6MK Live. Like I said, we're gonna have extension of this conversation as the day go on. But that right there at the bottom line, because Mad Mike said so. Deuces.
Peace.
Put your eyes back in your head.
Like flavor, flavor.
Pry their eyes open and force them to see the truth. We will skin the sheep and sacrifice the weak. The unholy alliance has arrived.